Hello everyone, in this tutorial we are going to learn about HTML video element. First of all, I'm going to introduce an application, Handbrake. It's a really effective tool to convert any video formats such as AVI or MOV to H.264 format. And also we are going to discuss about attributes of HTML video element. And also we are going to learn about basic functions of JavaScript video object and also a property as well. After that, we are going to learn about useful events of HTML video element, mostly on time update. We are going to focus on this event. Lastly, I'm going to talk about diverse ways of utilizing the video element. Okay, let's get started. I intentionally prepared the video file in this way. When we used audio files, we discouraged to use WAV on the web. It's because the file size is too big. It takes really long time to load and play in the web condition. That's why we encourage use MP3 instead of WAV file. In the same concept, we don't encourage use MOV file for web page. It's mainly because of the file size. As you can see, it's really heavy. It will take really long time to load on a web condition. It's a little bit inconvenient to load this file into Premiere and then re-render with the codec that I suggested. We have really great solution, which is we utilize the application Handbrake. This is Handbrake. You will be able to find the application in this slide and click this image. Once you click this image, it will open this web page. Simply, you can click this button and download the application. It's free, but also it's available on multiple platforms. So I strongly recommend to use this when you want to convert the video format to H.264. Let's try to use it. Here is the interface. You might want to click this open source. Also, you can just drag the file into this window. You can double check if the video format is correctly selected. But please don't worry, once you open this application and don't touch anything, every setting will be fine. Particularly, you can just check this web optimize. It's because we are going to use this video file on a web page. Then we can simply click this start. Okay, that's it. Let me try to find the file and move to this folder. Okay, it's in my external hard drive. And I'm just gonna move the file and let me compare. This is new file that I just converted with Handbrake. As you can see, the file size is significantly decreased. I'm going to convert this and this file as well so that I can use on the web page. This time we are going to utilize this add queue option. So let's drag this file into this. Then instead of pressing start, we can just click add to the queue. Then you will be able to see there is one batch appeared on this icon. Let's click and see. In the queue window, we can double check the file is added correctly. Let's add another file as well. I'm gonna just drag into this UI and we'll click add to the queue. Then we can also double check this. We can just simply click start. Okay, I think it's done. Let's close too. Let me bring the file into this folder as well. And we can compare the file size once again. As you can see, it became really small. Also, in terms of quality of the visuals, you won't be able to notice any differences. Remember that we are going to use these 3 video files on our web page. So the file name is not really great. So I'm going to change it simply and with lower cases. Okay, finally we can really discuss about HTML video element. As you can see, I already create index.html and JavaScript file and CSS file as well. I opened in Atom, you can see index.html here, and script.js and style CSS. And also you can double check the video file is included in this folder. Okay, let's get started. I just cleaned the unnecessary files in the asset folder, and now we only have 3 MP4 files. Let's try to load one file into HTML. So let's type video first and enter. Then now you are gonna have some suggested attribute. I'll say these two are outdated syntax, so just remove it. Poster, it's good, so I'm gonna keep it just for now. Let me show you the slide first. Audio and video elements are identical. We can utilize them in the exactly same way. Let's take a look at this slide. This is how we added the source to video element. That's why I suggest to delete the 2 attributes right away. So let's try to use it. Let's add the source first. So here you can just type source, then provide the file path. And the video type is MP4. You can take a look at this reference in the slide as well. And it finds that the browser cannot use this video element. It will show the text here. Okay, let's save and see. Oh, before doing that, let's add the folder name as well. So let's not forget we also need to add the folder name here in this file path. Let's save and let's take a look at it. Okay, it returns an error with poster image. So let me discuss about that really soon. But just for now, I'm gonna delete it. I believe the video file is successfully loaded, but the video clip itself is gigantic. That's why we are not seeing, but also it's not played yet. So let's try to resolve that issue. We can say controls. Then this interface will appear. Let's click play. Okay, it works great. Let's resolve the width issue. If you don't provide any unit, it will be used as a pixel value. So right now the video itself is really small. As you can see, it's the same, right? My intention was giving percentage value instead. Okay, so right now it's big enough, right? Let's take a look. You can find the attribute in this slide. So width and height and poster. I quickly made an image. Looks like this. And I'm planning to use this image as a poster of this video HTML element. I will again add the post attribute and we'll put the file path of the image. I'm going to save and we'll take a look. So now you can see the poster image before the video clip is played. And let's try to play. Okay, this is it. I strongly recommend to have a poster. It's also because once you have an issue with loading the video file, for example like this, but you can still show the image instead. So it's a great idea to have a poster as an alternative or backup of a video element. Okay. I think we talked about control and width and height. I didn't really discuss about height, but it's actually the same way of using width. And also we talked about the poster attribute. Then we can really talk about these JavaScript functions and properties. Okay. First of all, let's put it back. This time I just want to use the second video. I'm going to quickly create 3 buttons, which are play, pause, and stop. Looks good. And I'm going to create 3 functions for these buttons. Okay, that's it. I just want to reiterate that the video element and audio elements are identical, so you can use it in the same way. So let's grab this video HTML element and bring into JavaScript. To do so, we need to provide an ID to this HTML element. Then I'm going to grab the video element with the ID. I named it video player. Then we'll store this reference into a variable named video. Then now this HTML video element can be used as a JavaScript object. So now we can use the basic functions such as play. We can also make it pause. However, there is no such function named stop, unfortunately. So stop means you pause the video clip and put the playback position to the starting position. Okay, I'm going to save those 2 documents and we'll take a look. Play. Pause. And stop. And play again. Pause and play. Pause, play. Worked great. Then I don't think we need this default control interface. Okay. We just talked about play and pause functions and current time property. Now let's talk about the various events of the video element. Let's try to use onSeeking event first. So here we can add the event listener. It's also possible to add the event listener in JavaScript. Please reference this slide. For now, we are going to just utilize this method. Okay, let's get back. When we change the playback position of the video, this function will be triggered. Since I'm going to use this as a tool to check current time, I will name it show current time. And I will make a function with the same name. So this function will be called when we change the playback position of the video clip. I'm going to console log the current time. Let's try to use this. In order to use this function, I believe we need to bring the controls back so that we can utilize the slider on this timeline. Let's try. It seems quite useful, right? Once again, the reason that I made this function is to check the current position. And this way, I will be able to select certain position. For example, I like this. Then you can just remember this position. So I'm going to take a note here. And the other one, I like this winter scene, so here I'm going to just copy and paste. Then this flower scene. Okay, it's almost ready. Let me create 3 more buttons. Okay, we have 3 more buttons. I think I would like to change the line here. So I'm going to just simply use line break. Okay. This time I'm going to develop function in a slightly different way, adding 1 parameter. I think I can just copy and paste this one into this. Oops, the syntax is different. Okay, almost ready. I'm going to create a function named change current time. This way, I will change the playback position on the timeline. So, in this same way, however, we are going to change its value, right? When we call this function by adding a parameter, you can receive a certain value. For example, just time. Then you can utilize the received value here. Okay, let's use this. We call the function in this way, right? So when you call this function, you can pass a certain value and the value will be received with this variable time and then the value will be assigned into this video's property, current time. So let's complete this too and see how it works. And this is what I prepared, right? Okay, so let's play. Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3. Scene 1, Scene 2, Scene 3. Okay, it works great. Let's also discuss about on time update. I think this is the core of this tutorial. Okay, I think I'm going to take this one out once again, and we'll add the attribute on time update, and we'll name the function name update. A little bit broad and arbitrary name. Let's create a function with the name function update. Okay. And I'm also curious how it works, so I'm gonna just copy and paste this line, and we'll console out its current time values. Okay, let's try. When we play the video, as you can see, the update function is constantly being triggered while the video is being played. So we can utilize it in many different ways. What about we try to display certain buttons based on current time? So I'm going to quickly create 2 buttons. And we'll give ID name. Then we'll add some styles because I want to hide them at the beginning. So we can select a button with the ID name. Then we can say display none. But also the right one. We have the same property. And save. Let's get to script.js, and very at the top we can grab the two button elements. So I'm going to name the variable name button left. Then we'll grab the HTML element with ID. So it's btn left. The same way to get the right one. Okay, almost done. Let's take a look at this video clip. Okay, I would like to show those 2 buttons when I see this scenery. So I think it's approximately this current time. So I'm going to just copy and paste here. So I can write a script in this way. If the current time is greater than this time, we have the buttons appear. btn left, style, display, block. And the right is the same. Okay, let's take a look. As you can see, those two buttons appeared, right? So this can be very useful. So I think I'm gonna just talk about this one soon. Okay, so I'm gonna place these two buttons on top of this video. So the idea is when you see this scenery, you are gonna provide two options to the user. And based on user's selection, the next scene will be changed. So let's play a little bit more with these styles. First of all, I'd like to wrap these three elements with one div. Then I'm going to also provide an ID. Then we'll take a look at the space of this div. Okay, so we can see a little bit of this red color. In this way, we can confirm that the video element is successfully wrapped with the container. There is a specific reason that I did in this way. I will discuss it later, okay? Okay, let's change the style of these two. So just for now, I think I'm just gonna give certain background color. First, I will change this one block so that it can be displayed. And background color, I think I'm just gonna use white color but with opacity. So GBA, then maybe 30%. The same. Since I'm repeating the same properties, I think I can just do it this way. We'll use this later. And let's see. Okay, it seems good now. Okay, I think I want to change the color of the font too. Okay, I think I'm going to discuss a really important concept. It can be confusing, so please focus. I think I could just change this color to a yellow for now, and let's see. So now we see these two buttons here, right? And my idea is place the first button here, for example, and then the second button here. So this is my idea, and let's try that. So if you want to position this, so we usually provided the absolute value, right? And then we can just say left 0%, for example, top 0%. And we can also do the same, but then because this is positioned half from the left, so yeah, 50. I think it seems good. I would like to place this button on this video area, right? Let's also play with width and height. Okay, it seems good. Let's apply this onto the right one. It seems great. Let's apply height value as well. I'm going to say 100% and here too. Let's take a look. See, as you can see, it's filling the entire web page. This is not what we want. And then the position of this text is incorrect. It's because once again, the button is filled entire height right now. So let's try to resolve this issue. I think I'm just going to bring this one onto this. The key point is, so this absolute position should be relative as well. Once again, the reason that I included these three elements in this div is I would like to position and change the width and height, the dimensions, based on this div. So these three elements will have relative dimensions and positions based on the container. I said relative. So these absolute position and dimensions will be relative once you say position relative from the container. Then let's just save and let's take a look. It seems perfect. This is what we wanted, right? You can also adjust a little bit if you want to actually click the edge of this. So for example, 20 and 20, it starts from 80. Then now you have the left choice and right choice on the edge of the video. So let me just discuss about this one. So once you say position relative in the container, it will provide some relative position within this area. So then I said 80 and 20. So for example, this is the origin position. So if I just say X and Y, this is 0 and 0. This is height, this is width. Then we are going to use width and height with percentage value or left and top with percentage value. You are going to get some relative values from these values. Okay, so 80%, right? So from this position, so 80%. So 80%, and then this is 20. This is 20. Okay. Once again, this is a core concept. If you still have some confusions, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay. I will be really happy to discuss further with this concept. And also, I would suggest to take a look at this reference. Okay, let's try. If you go all the way down, you are going to find position text in an image. You can take a look at the code by clicking these buttons, for example. Then let's click. Then, yeah, you will be able to see what I just discussed. Okay, let's get back to the main idea. So these two buttons will be hidden at the beginning. So I'm going to say none. Then, once the Veyron desert scene appears, the buttons will appear too. Then now I can interact with these two buttons. Okay? So let me improve this a little bit more. So I think I'm just gonna put it back to white and decrease the opacity. Then the font size can be larger. I will actually make the video stopped once it reaches this position. Okay, I'm going to pause, not stop. Maybe before that, I'm going to just change the size a little bit. Okay, 50 and 50, 50. Okay, all ready. Let's get back to this and take a look. Okay, so now you have two choices, right? So you can choose this direction or the other direction, right? So then you can do the same with these two buttons. I would like to jump to this playback position when we click the left button. So I'm just going to copy and paste into this one. But also, if I choose the right one, I think I'm gonna move on to this playback position. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, so as you can see, you can jump to a certain playback position by clicking these two buttons. However, there is a serious bug of this if statement. So right now, this current time 96 or 61 is in the range, right? So you might want to narrow this range. So I'm going to write down one more condition. So n, the time is like less than 11, for example. Then it won't cause any issue. And if you play it too, so ensure that you provide proper range. So this can be used also intentionally. So what about you just show the button only 5 seconds and it will disappear again. So 5 seconds, I'm gonna just change this to 15 and I'm gonna just say else. Perhaps I'm not gonna use this one. So I'm gonna make it none again. Let's take a look. It appears from 10 to 15 and will disappear. So let's do it again. So when the button is activated, we can jump to the next scene. I believe you got the idea. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Okay, I will bring this one back. I didn't really discuss about the aspects, but actually this web page is quite responsive. So if you take a look, I'm gonna bring controls too so that I can see those buttons. Okay, so I'm gonna change around this so that I can see the button. So as you can see, the buttons are responsive too. So the dimensions and positions of those buttons are changed relatively based on the position and dimensions of the container. So we can utilize the same concept. So let's see if we have some interesting object in this. Okay, since I couldn't find it, I think I'm just gonna use this sun as an area you might wanna click. I'm gonna quickly create another button. I just copy and paste and we'll name it button sun. Then not sure about this interaction yet, so I'm gonna take this one out and we'll say, for example, click. And this one will appear no matter what. So let's write down some styles for this button. I think I'm just gonna use exact same method, and we'll give the percentage value. As long as we provide the percentage values, it will be responsive. We don't have this aspect, so I'm gonna copy and paste this one too. Okay, so display none, that's good. And color white, the font size, maybe decrease a little bit. And but this time I'm gonna make it red. Then position absolute, that's good. And this one, not sure. So we can play with this one. But right now, I think I'm just gonna use 20 and 20. So I think I'm just gonna test right away. So I'm gonna change this one to block. Then, okay, I save both document, and yeah, so this is here. I'm gonna try to place this one at the center. So then, perhaps just like, and it seems great. So let's get to the sun. Okay, I think I'm just gonna move this one a little bit to right. Okay, too much maybe. Okay, it seems great, and I'm gonna change the height a little bit. Okay, so right now the button is covering the sun, and it will be responsibly changed. So this is it. Okay. Okay, let me comment out this one first. Your idea might be different. So you might want to move on to next page based on these choices. So let's try to develop that way. So I think I'm just going to create a function that next page, for example. And then like previous page. Perhaps I can improve the name. So if we click the left button, we might just want to move to the previous page. Then we can just simply call this function. If we click the right button, we move on to the next page. Okay? And we can make these buttons text clearer. Okay, just for now, I'm not going to use this. And yeah, we'll display from the beginning. So let's reroute. So we have these two buttons. Let's first create two HTML pages. Okay, I think it's ready. Okay, then the left button is clicked. So we are going to move on to the previous web page, right? So this is first method. You can say window location, hyperlink reference. You can provide the HTMLs of file path. And let's test. Okay, so we move on to the previous page, right? And so we can do exactly the same with the next page. Right? Okay, so it works really fine. So let's redevelop this. Instead of having certain range to check the current frame, so what about we check if this is done? If the current frame is equal to the duration, we are going to show the two buttons, and the user will be able to choose to move to the previous page or next page. So let's take a look. I'm gonna hide those buttons. Okay, so then let's see, we finish this video. Then once the video is finished, the two button will appear. Lastly, really the last one, there is another way to move on to the other page. You can also write in this way. So technically you are opening a new window. However, if you provide such a spec, you can just replace the current web page. So first of all, you just provide the HTML URL, and the second, you can decide if you want to open new web page or not. So this is the way. Please reference this slide. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this method instead too. Okay, then let's try. Okay, it's the same, right? One last thing, the source of video can be swapped. So for example, since we already have the video object, you can just change the source by providing the other file path. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I will see you later. Bye bye.